Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Department Podcast, the wrestling recap version where us three fine gentlemen here are going to be predicting Wrestlemania Backlash. For the first time ever, there is a Wrestlemania Backlash. It's basically the same thing as a normal Backlash, just with the word Wrestlemania in it to add a little bit more spice and flavor. Seems to be a decent card, I would say, for the most part, but I'm excited to predict some wrestling. It's been a little bit over a month since we predicted stuff, so I'm excited.
Since all of WrestleMania week basically was the bombardment of wrestling. I think we only did like one other wrestling episode before that, after that, because we kind of did the post one and then took a little bit of break just because we did a lot of wrestling that week. But Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash.
WrestleMania Backlash. Get it right. Yeah, I'm excited though. How you guys doing though? How we feeling?
Jesse, how are you feeling?
Wow. Oh, I'm good. Big Three came back today. 1.
3.
And Kevin Durant played terrible. And we still dogged the Bulls. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Couple of playoff teams and play-in team up there. So we got
Heat in the playoffs?
Yes, we are.
So all of our teams are in the playoffs.
I mean,
I'm in the play-in tournament. I can get. I'm in the
You're gonna make it because you guys are playing the Pacers.
I'm in the playoffs. Basically,
you get to play. You get to play the 76ers first round.
The ultimate stat pattern. I hope Beal's healthy because that's all that matters. Because right now he's not. So
yeah, man.
Hope for the best.
Yeah, but hey, Jesse seems to be doing good. Justin, your teams are playing tonight. I know the Orioles have a big series right now against the Yankees, and the Wizards, like we just talked about, are in the play-in, and sports, man, sports, and it's looking good. Everything's looking good, but we're here to talk about wrestling today, and we're gonna start off this podcast. I feel like we do this all the time when someone dies, and it sucks to do this all the time. I hate doing this, but we gotta mention that New Jack has just recently passed away yesterday, Friday, May 14th, I think, out of a heart attack he had. One of the craziest guys in all of wrestling, just crazy off the wall, ECW legend, ECW original, and just his dark side of the ring is basically where we got to learn a lot more about him for us fans that didn't really grow up watching him in the ECW days. But man, he's pretty young, and to die of a heart attack after all the crazy things he did is kind of wild in a way. But man, it's sad. It's a sad day to see a legend go.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame at any means, just because he was never in the WWE, basically. But I mean, if they ever honor original ECW people, he should definitely be in that group for sure, because he was definitely on the rise of the original ECW in the 90s, 2000s. And then, he's infamously known for the mass transit incident where he, bludgeoned a kid, basically. But also at the same point, that kid lied, so he's not too much at fault, in my opinion. But that's here nor there. But his legacy is definitely cemented in wrestling as being one of the most hardcore motherfuckers ever, basically.
Crazy. Yeah. His legacy is pretty insane. Will do anything. He almost killed that guy in the ring.
Oh my God, it's so sad.
Threw him pretty far. How high was that? It was
about 20 plus.
Like 2 stories.
Yeah,
basically.
He tried to throw him out of the ring,
and then he threw him off of the scaffold. Yeah, the scaffolding you're talking about.
Yep.
No, because I thought you were talking about when they fell off the balcony and they cracked their heads open, basically.
Oh, that too.
No. When he was intentionally trying to kill the guy.
No. Yeah. But WWE did put out a tweet, which was good.
I'm surprised they actually acknowledged him, because he really has no affiliation with the company, and he's the complete opposite of what they'd want wrestling to be for them, basically. But so the fact that they acknowledged him at least means, they're aware of it.
Yeah, he's, like you said, Justin, he's literally the opposite. Like, they're all PG, this company and everything, despite Jimmy Uso's shirt on Smackdown this week. But the fact that they mentioned him, even though he's like exactly like you said, the complete opposite of what they want in their company to this day. Like, they're all PG and not even TV-14 anymore, and this dude was rated R, rated M for mature, whatever you want to call him. But at the end of the day, it is sad to see a legend go. I hope there's a graphic in the upcoming week for New Jack. So rest in peace to New Jack. And I don't have much outside the ring news too, but one last thing I just want to bring up, because there's not a lot of they cut a lot of matches from this pay-per-view. I'd say they're doing an Intercontinental Championship match next week. They're doing the Fatal 4-Way, which should be on the card between Apollo Crews, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Big E. I don't know why that's on SmackDown. And
that is an absolute shame.
Yeah,
just put on the pre-show.
Unless they give that like 30. Unless they no, that deserves to be on.
No, I agree.
If you might as well give that 30 minutes on SmackDown then.
That better be the last 30 minutes.
Better main event. Yeah, no, I agree. But like,
yeah,
you're having Miz
30-minute main event for it.
You're having Miz and Priest on the card and the Dirty Dogs versus the Mysterios.
You're having Dolph. I was about to say Dolph and Bobby Roode against the Mysterios.
Instead of four of the most talented guys in the company.
Instead of
Yeah, exactly. But that's besides the point. But last night on Friday Night SmackDown, another match that got cut that could have been on the pay-per-view, which was Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler defending their titles against Tamina and Natty, and the old vets got the job done.
Should have happened at WrestleMania.
It should have. Tamina was over. You heard the crowd. Tamina was over.
And on wrestling Twitter too, everyone's just so happy for her because she's been with the company for forever. And she never held singles gold for the women's division. So the fact that she finally got her first belt now, way overdue.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to bounce these belts around more to add more intrigue into them. Because honestly, I don't like good for Natalya and Tamina. They probably shouldn't hold these that long.
Yeah, like that.
I would have them lose them pretty quick.
I would too, but this reign with Shayna and Nia was not good. It went too long.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hope they go their own way.
I think they just forgot about it for large portions.
I hope they just have
I think they forget.
I don't even need a blow off. I don't even need a blow off. Just separate them and go away.
Yeah. I think they forget about the tag titles for a good portion of the year. And then they sort of remember them around Road to WrestleMania, and then like a pay-per-view or two after, and then they're like done with them again. Like they use them like 4 to 5 months out of the year.
Yeah, it's so sad. Like I said, just should have moved them down to NXT in general. I say that every wrestling podcast. It would have been so much better instead of creating whole new titles in NXT. But at the end of the day, Tamina's a champion, and congrats to Tamina and Natalya. Hopefully they do something with these titles, but I doubt that they'll get used. But it's not their fault. It's the company's fault in general. But let's move on to the predictions. Not much other stuff to talk about. We're not recapping the whole week. We're just doing our predictions this week. We're going to do our breakdown of that after this, when the pay-per-view airs on Sunday, so stay tuned to that. But let's go over the score. We got to go to the scoreboard.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, man. It's been over a month. It's like a month and a half now.
I bet you did one too, Justin.
Yeah,
I bet you did.
But the score reads that Jesse has 7 pay-per-view victories out of
8. Oh yeah, that's right.
8 that we had. Because of that stupid tiebreaker that I shouldn't have won or whatever. I know I was us tying, Justin. Yes. But anyways, we should have tied. But
it took
whatever.
2 of us to take down Jesse. And neither of us still won.
It did. But Jesse has
I still won the next night.
He won the next night, so we got that right back. Yep. So WrestleMania Night 2 is our last one, and Jesse has a score of 7 right now. I have a score of 4, and Justin has a score of 1.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on the board. That's all that matters. We're here to have fun. We're still figuring out a prize. We're still going to do a prize or eventually whatever. But like we said, we have
get Jimmy's t-shirt.
6.
They are selling it.
They are selling it. But 7, 4, 1, Jesse, me, Justin. And I'm not going to go over the total points. That doesn't matter or anything. We didn't rate WrestleMania Night 2 too hot because it wasn't as good as Night 1 in general. But we're here for WrestleMania Backlash. And like always, we're going to start with the person who's in the lead to predict the first match. And that first match is WWE Champion Bobby Lashley defending his title in a triple threat match against Drew McIntyre and Big Braun Strowman. Jesse, who do you got and why?
Lashley, and Strowman's only in this to take the pin. I don't think they have Lashley continue to win at Mania just to then have him lose at the next pay-per-view. Then again, that totally could happen.
It could happen.
But I that just doesn't seem right to me. I'd assume they're throwing Braun in here so that he can eat the pin, and then they'll probably do another Lashley Drew match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're going to take Braun out of it because he'll get pinned. They'll be like, well, you lost, so get the hell out of here. So it's going to be Lashley, though, who walks out with the belt because I think they just keep it on a little bit longer. If I see him losing it, it'd be at like a SummerSlam type.
Yeah, as much as I don't like Braun, I think it would be cool to switch it up because Raw needs something at this point. It's an unbearable 3 hours, that show. It's bad. It's just plain
It's the
bad.
main event. It's the main event is really bad right now, especially because AJ, Orton, and Riddle are all doing tag. They're all doing tag teams right now. So who is the main event?
These guys right here. And
that's it.
Honestly, I hate to do this, but I agree with both of you guys too. I think Lashley does get the win here. And I agree with what Jesse said even more, that probably Lashley and Drew at Money in the Bank or something, and that they're just going to continue this, which is fine. Lashley's a cool champion, but Raw just needs to mix something up. It's very to the script story, and it's not like exciting like NXT and SmackDown is. It really isn't.
I think Money in the Bank also needs those bigger matches because it's kind of become like the 5th pay-per-view. I feel like
honestly, I think it's
the one I look forward to.
It's more of a big.
I look forward to that more than Survivor Series. Yeah. Yes, yeah. I look forward more to Money in the Bank than Survivor Series. It's probably my 3rd favorite pay-per-view under Mania and Rumble.
I would agree
because the Money in the Bank is such an interesting thing,
and honestly,
it can literally turn a WWE champion into anybody.
And honestly, SummerSlam's starting to fall by the wayside, but that's a podcast for another day. But
yeah man,
it's that Money in the Bank's definitely number 3.
Besides Seth Rollins, yeah, it's getting up there to the big 5. So I think it's like they usually put bigger matches on at Money in the Bank. I mean, look at the Cena Punk match that they did all those years ago. That was at Money in the Bank. They tend to keep putting these big matches on during that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so we're going Lashley
across the board
on that one. And now we're moving to the SmackDown Women's Championship match. We got Bianca Belair defending her title against Bayley. They kind of built this feud up over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Nothing too special here. I'll go first. I'm going Bianca Belair. I think that's kind of simple.
Yeah, they're just going to keep the belt on her because she needs a nice, lengthy title reign. And Bayley is give a good match, but they didn't put her on original WrestleMania. So why do I think she would win at WrestleMania Backlash when she has nothing to backlash against with?
Yeah, she's the second. She's the second biggest star behind Sasha that Bianca could beat. So I guess it makes sense to give it to her now. I would probably rather want this to be pushed off to just Money in the Bank or something. The match is going to be good though, but definitely Bianca for the win.
Yeah, again, Bianca around the table, around the clock, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's kind of predictable this, but also towards the end, starting now, I would say it gets a little tricky, and we're getting into the other women's championship match on the show, which is Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley defending her title against Asuka and Charlotte. And now, Justin, I will go to you for this one. Who are you taking and why?
I think Rhea walks away with the belt, and Asuka eats the pin, just because he's going to build up Charlotte some more, and then we'll get Charlotte and just Rhea the rematch from WrestleMania 2 years ago, basically later on down the road. So yeah, I think they keep it with Rhea. Because they can kind of run with the story then that Rhea was only as a placeholder for Charlotte.
I think, no, I'm going to go off that right now, that Rhea was the placeholder, because I think the plan was eventually to have Charlotte win the title at some way or another at WrestleMania, whether it was against Asuka or whether it was against Lacey Evans, because that's coming out now with Lacey was supposed to be the champion going into Mania. So I think Rhea was honestly just the placeholder. And
placeholder upon placeholder upon placeholder.
I think Charlotte walks out as champion. I'm going with Charlotte to win.
Dang, I thought I was going to be bold by taking Charlotte.
Every time.
Dude,
every time.
I have a rule: you just can't bet against Charlotte Flair, man, because you never know when she's just gonna get that random title reign that they give her. And you would think that they would want to keep the belt on Rhea, but I feel like at this point they might have already think that they established a star by her winning at Mania. So this is another way to give Charlotte a match, and then at Money in the Bank, you can have the Charlotte Rhea match again.
Yeah.
So put me down
Jesse
for
and
Charlotte.
Jesse and I going Charlotte. Justin going with Rhea Ripley. And now we're back to Jesse for this match. Hopefully is the main event, but I have my doubts. We got Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. Jesse, who you taking and why?
Roman Reigns.
I feel like Jesse always gets the Roman one first.
Yeah, it's always because he always wins, and Roman's usually the main event, so that's why it usually ends up on
Roman's one of the
Hey,
top.
that's the perk.
Jesse's the Roman Reigns of picks at this point.
He is. Meanwhile, we're the Usos.
Roman didn't lose to. Didn't lose to Daniel Bryan and Edge.
Well, you are nobody's bitch, Clark.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, speaking of the nobody's bitch, I think Jimmy has a big, he impacts this match, and I think Cesaro walks away with the belt because I think he screws Roman just to spice it up a little, because Roman's had the belt basically until he's come back. So I could see a little turn there.
Justin, I just want to let you know, if Rhea wins or Asuka wins, you could have won this pay-per-view.
That's fine.
You are now picking Cesaro.
Yes,
you understand that. Right?
I respect it.
Because right when Jimmy came back, they were already playing with how he's not going to fall in line, kind of what Jay did right off the bat anyway. And I could see them taking it up a notch and having the one thing Roman cares about, the belt, get taken away from him.
See, I think that's going to happen, but the other way around. That Jimmy is finally going to align with Roman Reigns. And finally getting the bloodline, the heel bloodline. So I'm also going Roman Reigns in this one. I love they built Cesaro up great. I love what they're doing with him. I think it's fantastic, and the fact that this could be a main event match is really, really cool. But like you said, Jesse, he beat Edge, and he beat Bryan, and he beat Bryan again, and he beat Owens, and he beat all these top guys, and kind of Cesaro's a step. I don't want no disrespect to Cesaro, but he's kind of a step below all these guys. But the character-wise, not in-ring skill-wise, but yeah, I'm going with Roman, plain and simple.
I ain't.
Okay, that's cool.
I think there's a chance that Jimmy almost messes it up for Roman, but I still don't think he loses.
Yeah.
For it. Okay.
All right. So
I think there's a chance we get Roman Jimmy at Money in the Bank where Roman just absolutely obliterates.
That'd be cool.
Just beat him into submission, kind of like what they did with Jay.
Yeah, and then have Jay come out and throw the towel in.
It's just one big Stockholm syndrome feud at this point
with
each other.
It's great, but it's also very, repetitive at the same time. But I can't complain. I love Roman.
Gotta acknowledge him.
Oh, the militia's running around.
They called
There goes the militia, baby.
There it is.
Anyways, let's continue. 2 more matches left on his card.
2 more. Wow.
Two more. I know. A short one. Very short one. We have the Smackdown Tag Team Champions, the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler. And
I hate this match.
Is that their real names?
Yes.
Sort of, yeah. They refer to themselves as them. It's on their jackets. Versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. And I'm going first for this one. And as much as this pains me to say this,
this is a match first off. That's what pains me.
I'm going with the Mysterios to
Yeah,
win the tag team titles.
There's got to be a title change. There's got to be one.
Every single week of this feud, Michael Cole has said on commentary, there's never been a father and son tag team champion duo in history.
Yeah, and plus we're also like a month out from Father's Day, so they could do something with that.
If he turns on his dad on Father's Day,
that would be awesome.
French kiss.
They're not having him turn on.
No, he's still a goober.
But by that sound of reaction, I think everyone's going Mysterios.
Yeah, when I saw this match, I was like, they're winning. They got to win.
Yep. I was like, that's the title change. That's the one that they had to have.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it because that's the one thing I don't like about SmackDown. I'm not a Dominic Mysterio fan.
Hey, you were all high on him to begin with, and I
think he's solid in the ring.
He's just a man child.
I think he's good.
I just can't take him serious. His
he's
appearance.
Good in the ring. He needs to branch away from Ray.
Well, that's the thing. He's just too awkward.
But I don't think. Yeah, well, they're not giving him any favors. They took him off TV for a while, and then they
He also just seems too young still.
He does.
Almost, he's not.
Yeah, he just looks super young.
He's not grizzled enough.
Honestly, he would be better off if he was wearing a mask as well.
Yeah,
I think that would. That would help him.
That'd look cool.
Hide his face.
Hide his face.
Yeah, so he doesn't look so young.
Yeah,
looks like he's 17.
It does. He looks super young.
I think that's the big detractor for me is that he does look extremely young.
Give him a beard.
He's got to grow a beard.
I don't
there
think
you go.
Can.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, well, even if it's
put
like
a fake one on him.
Anything.
Oh, God.
Just like a straight, like horrible, like dollar store fake beard. I would love.
I think he has like the pencil mustache.
Oh, All right, last match.
Put a mask on him, draw in a little beard.
Just drawing a little stubble. I love it. Last match of the card. Very short card. Going to Justin for this one. Who cares about this match though? It's Damien Priest versus The Miz in a lumberjack match, baby. Justin, who you got and why?
Priest. Just because Miz can eat the pin. It doesn't really need the win either way. He'll be Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat in 2 years, the movie, so his career is fine. He doesn't need it.
Exactly.
Priest is just going to get the win.
I agree, too.
I mean, one of the Lumberjacks is going to be Morrison anyway. So
probably, yeah.
So Priest
that's going to be like the only one on Miz's side.
Yeah,
exactly. And it gives Priest a big pay-per-view one-on-one main event. Not main event. Was the one-on-one pay-per-view win.
The Miz is a pros pro at this point, so he can kind of take wins and losses as they come. Doesn't need it, so just give it Priest. And they're high on Priest, so a win over Miz is a good notch in his belt.
Yeah, no, I 100%
Miz was
agree.
WWE champion like a month ago.
Miz is
Damien Priest is now beating a WWE champion.
And Miz is going to be a Hall of Famer, so what does it matter?
Yeah, no.
Miz would have been a Hall of Famer if he stopped wrestling 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I agree with Justin in that one. I'm going Damien Priest as well for basically all the same reasons that Justin said. Jesse, you too?
Yep.
Yeah. Weird. See, like this match here is one of the matches that didn't need to be on the card. It really didn't. Like it was unnecessary.
This could have been a Raw main event or something
fine.
That would have been fine.
Yeah. But nope, they put it on WrestleMania Backlash, even though it's not even a WrestleMania main event or anything. It's two of the guys who are in the tag match. If Bad Bunny shows up, that'd be cool as one of the Lumberjacks. But
no way.
I doubt it.
No chance.
No, I doubt it too. But final thoughts on this. It was a short podcast, but short pay-per-view card. What are you gonna do? That's how it is. Any final thoughts before I wrap this up?
I'm gonna find it really funny if Cesaro doesn't win and Rhea retains and Justin could have won, but he didn't because he decided to pick Cesaro. That being said, if somehow Cesaro wins, I mean, Justin will have two. But Justin will have two, so
he will. But
watch out, Clark.
But once again, Jesse, we have. I'm looking at it right now. The same card again.
And I tried to go against the grain twice.
Yeah, you did. Now I know. But I'm not gaining anything. If we win, we're just going one up on Justin. So hey, secure my second place even quicker. So that's fine with me. But anyways, that does it for this episode of the Sports Department Podcast. Thank you guys for listening so much. Us three appreciate it. Joe and Steve appreciate it as well. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at SportsDepthPod. That's Sports DEPT Pod. I know there's an NHL episode coming out soon. NBA playoffs is starting. NFL one, we're going to try to get a couple of news episodes with that. And we're breaking down this pay-per-view. And of course, wrestling recaps will come either every week or every other week too. So stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.